Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. Gotcha. I found you. I found the source of the Bitcoin and Ethereum flash crash. We know that Bitcoin and Ethereum has been weak, but what about those flash crashes where Ethereum flash crashed down to $700 seemingly within seconds? And same thing in Bitcoin, and it has been happening a lot more recently. And I found the source, and I'm going to share with you guys in this video, and of course talk about what has happened since yesterday to today, what's going to happen this week. And you know what? I got a lot to share with you guys, and I think with all this information, we'll be better prepared for the future, and let's hope we can put a stop to this as well. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I think I forgot to say it. I get too excited. I am George. We are all George. We are all one. Sorry. There's just a lot that I want to get off my chest, a lot I've found, so kind of screw my intro, but make sure you hit that notification bell, follow me on Twitter and Facebook so you don't miss out on any of my live streams, including the one tonight. All right, guys. Let's do this. A lot of people in the chat already. You guys are anxious to know what's going on. Let me show you what's going on. All right, so Bitcoin is at 47,160, a little bit lower than yesterday, right? But a lot of you guys are noticing that your sats are not going down, and that's the most important thing. Now, yesterday, I created a few videos. In fact, I've been creating a lot of videos. I don't know, most of you guys, I think, have seen them, but you know, since Sunday, I noticed a big sell-off from F2 Pool, right? So that definitely had a big effect. And since then, Bitcoin has been falling from 58,000 down to where 47,000 is. Now, some of you guys may be panicking. Maybe some of you guys are very, very new. And you are so new that you forgot that even a month ago, we saw something similar. And I'm going to draw similarities with our dip, our drop right now versus the one that we saw back in January. It's almost identical. And you know why it's almost identical? Because it's caused by the same party, basically. But we just didn't have the data before, and now we do, and we can pay more attention to it, right? So let me connect the dots for you guys, and then let me share with you the same kind of this pattern that that I found, right? So looking at this, not this, okay. Looking at this, now I did notice Quant, they changed the label of their F2 pool charts. Now it says Bitcoin F2 pool affiliated miners outflow. So I think F2 pool put some pressure on Quant and forced them to change it right away because of all the negativity. Now, I did say that it's either F2 pool themselves or the miners that's on it. It's really, really hard to tell the difference. So now F2 pool has a new chart that kind of breaks it up. But I mean, overall, you still could see that, yeah, this happened, right? And if you zoom in, you could see that this happened, caused the Bitcoin to go down. And then you had another outflow, right? And since then, there's been a few more. It's kind of leveling off. Yesterday I said that it does look like the ammunition is leveling off, right? But the damage obviously has been done and caused a cascading effect, a lot of long liquidations, and it has brought Bitcoin down, right? So F2 Crypto Quant now has another one called affiliated miners outflow. But if you look at the top 10, it's basically identical. So, I mean, it's coming from F2 pool at this point. So there's no doubt about it. Right? Who it's coming from, I don't know. So here's the thing. If Crypto Quant could actually separate the addresses between the affiliate miners and F2 Pool themselves, then they should just track the addresses, right? So I'm going to try to reach out to Crypto Quant and ask them, hey, if you obviously you know which addresses, you could differentiate between the addresses. Well, why don't you just share with us what addresses they are, right? Then we could really, really track them. Maybe Whale Alert on Twitter could help with that too. But ultimately, we know it's coming from F2 Pool right now. For some reason, it's only from F2 Pool. It's not from pooling BTC, E, or Binance pool or any other pool, only F2 pool. We know that with a certainty. Okay, now let's connect the dots here. So, yesterday and today, we've seen some flash crashes, right? So I started looking at the charts. I'm like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? So I started with ETH first, then I went back to Bitcoin, and here we go. So looking at the inflows, I mean, to cause a crash like this has to be done on a spot exchanges. It's done purposefully so that it can cause massive panic selling, right? So it's not going to be done on OTC market. So we should be able to track it. So I was looking at, okay, let's start with BTC. The number one exchange that people would go to would be Coinbase. Usually when you have retail investors that's panicking, then you see a mass inflow into Coinbase Pro. You did see a few spikes here, but not really. Nothing that explains the flash crashes. Well, if it's not Coinbase, then where is it going? Well, Binance? Well, you look at Binance, besides this, I mean, it's pretty much the same. So no, there's no influx recently going to Binance, right? So then this is what I've been saying all along. It has to go to some exchange with very, 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 very high leverage, right? Because some people question like, hey, 3,700 Bitcoin isn't a whole lot. That's it was 160 million-ish at the time. But you multiply by 10, it becomes 1.6 billion. And then you multiply by 100, it becomes 16 billion. So yeah, it could be a lot. And guess where it went to? It went to BitMEX, our favorite friends at BitMEX. The exchange that started it all. The one that introduced 100 leverage. And Arthur Hayes and his buddies, we know that they've been behind some shenanigans in the past, which is why they're fleeing authorities. I think Arthur Hayes started coming back to the limelight. I think he started tweeting or something, right? So this is pretty obvious. This is pretty obvious what happened. So some, if not all of that Bitcoin flew into BitMEX right around here. They applied some crazy amount of leverage, right? Caused Bitcoin to go down. And guess what? Those Bitcoin flash crashes that we've been seeing where flash crashed down to like 45, 46,000 immediately? Yeah, that's due to this. That's because they inflowed even more Bitcoin at that time, applied 100x leverage, and shot down the market. So this explains it. You could see the deviation. This is not an accident right when Bitcoin is going down. This is purposeful. I can't say that word. Purposely done. You could see all the times before, nothing. But yeah, obviously, this is what caused the flash crash. Now, this is not the reason for the downfall, not for the overall reason. That is still due to F2 pool and that whale that sold out. But this is how they've been causing the flash crash. So yeah, so that's Bitcoin. Now, a lot of you guys noticed Ethereum. Ethereum flash crashed down yesterday too, right? Even more so, a lot more so. It crashed almost more than 50%. And people were blaming Kraken that it's due to their order books, something screwed up, it has to be Kraken, right? No, it wasn't Kraken at all. You know what it was? You look at I was looking at Kraken's inflow, and yet there was just a little bit more ETH at that time, but this is insignificant in terms of the amount. But what is significant is how much went into Bitfinex at that time. Yes, another exchange was very, very, very high leverage. You could see that there was one big deposit here of 108,000 Ethereum, ETH, right pretty much at peak, probably started selling off. This was done in conjunction with BTC. See, these whales, they have to use leverage because honestly, they don't have that much. But if you apply a 10, 20, 50, 100x leverage, then that buying power, selling power increases exponentially. So I don't think it's a coincidence that you see 108,000 ETH flow in right at peak, right at 2,000, then started going down. And guess what? At that point, boom, another 94,000 ETH flowed into Bitfinex, and that is the exact point that Ethereum flash crashed down to 700. So again, done on purpose, not by accident. So there you go. These are the two sources. the whale or whales, coordinated parties, I don't know. They decided to team up, and this is not by accident. This is all coordinated. You have one done on BitMEX for Bitcoin, and you have another one done on Bitfinex with ETH. And that's why we have those flash crashes, right? So again, the data is there. The data is there. Quant probably has all this logged. It's just no one's looking. People always just assume it just happens. No, it doesn't happen. It happens because there's parties behind the scenes that's making it happen, right? And if you look at the liquidations, I mean, it was bad, very, very bad yesterday, but, you know, today is not a whole lot better. Yesterday, Bitcoin was, the longs were liquidated about 1.4 billion. Today, about 800 million. So halfway there, it's still a significant amount. And with Ethereum too, yesterday 642 million liquidated. Today 408 million liquidated. Ouch. A lot, right? A lot of liquidation. So what can we gather from this kind of data, right? I think there's a lot more to be discovered, a lot more that we can track. But there are three things that I'm tracking now, and Quant does provide. And by the way, a lot of these charts you have to pay for. It's not free. The free ones doesn't give you like real-time data. So some people have asked me, oh, how come I can't see all the data? You know, that's the reason why. So you can set an alarm for yourself. So I'm setting basically 3 alarms right now. One is to measure the outflow from F2 pool, because whenever there's a significant amount, and when I'm talking about significant amount, you know, over 1,000, okay? That's a significant amount, especially when you apply leverage. So that's number one. I'm setting on F2 pool so that if it comes, I'll know for sure that a move is coming, especially one with close to 4,000 Bitcoins outflowing. Number two is I do have an alarm now set on BitMEX and Bitfinex, 2 exchanges that is known for causing manipulation, or manipulating the market. Bitfinex, of course, tied with Tether, and of course they're being investigated. But there's some question marks around Bitfinex in the past. And same thing, they have very, very high leverage. And of course, BitMEX too, with their 100x leverage, right? So now I have those alarms set. So whenever there's a huge inflow, just randomly out of the blue, it'll be very, very easy to detect that it's in. But hopefully it's soon enough so that we get advance warning. Because sometimes we don't, right? Sometimes they may do it right on the spot, and there's a little lag to this. But I am setting all those, and I think there's other things that I can find down the road. So I'm definitely going to track it and let you guys know about it as this develops. Let's just say that as this develops. Now, yesterday I did say that I was going to tweet out to Michael Saylor and Elon. You know, maybe they'll pay attention, maybe they will join in. But the ultimate thing, what we need to do is stay together, join together, right? And just ignore all this and possibly do what WSB did with GameStop and with everyone else, with all this manipulating shorters. If we could cause one massive short squeeze and do it on them, that would be fantastic. So I did tweet this out yesterday. Those of you guys that are not on Twitter or you didn't catch it, make sure you go on, reply to this, retweet, heart, share. Maybe Michael will pay attention. This is the perfect week to do so. If he did not commence his buying yet, I think it's going to take some time because he just sold his convertible notes. I don't think he has the cash right away, but this will be a perfect time to join him on his $1 billion buy, right? And all of us gang together, we can wreck these shorters, the ones that are doing this. And remember, this is futures expiration week. So here's the thing. I was thinking about it a little bit, and they could actually profit 3 ways from doing this. Whoever's behind the scenes right now, whoever that did this. There's 3 ways they can really profit from this. Number one is, yes, they can sell, obviously, right? They could cause a huge, massive dump, and then they can go and buy a ton of short contracts from on CME and other places. It's no longer a guess. They know it's going to happen, so they can make billions off of that. And I showed you guys the interest, the short interest from this one labeled hedge fund, which we don't know who. All the other ones, asset manager, other non-reported, on longs, they're all high. But on shorts, no one. So this is probably related to that whale. So they can make money by shorting the hell out of Bitcoin because they can drive the market down. Number two, so that's number one. Number two is they can use this profit to buy back, right? Buy back the Bitcoin at a lower price. And three, and I didn't think about this yesterday, but also relates, when Bitcoin's price is down and this expires, then they can buy another long contract for next month, and they could buy long contract for Bitcoin to be at 75,000 or above, because then they stop selling and they let things go up. And that's exactly what I want to show you guys next. How this pattern is almost identical to the same pattern that happened last month after Bitcoin shot up, and almost identical to what happened when Bitcoin's future expiration also occurred. So this is something that's actually relatively new, sort of. We have seen volatility before Bitcoin futures, but now it's like elevated. Like someone has decided to take upon themselves to try to take advantage of the situation, but it's being uncovered, right? It's being uncovered, so I don't know how long this is going to last. But going back to the chart, right? Going back to the chart, we're at 47,300. So you could see that off the top. Well, let me zoom out a little bit, okay? It'll be a little bit easier to see. So I changed some of the colors on my lines. But remember the days when Bitcoin was below 20,000, we were at 19.5, and it just seemed like Bitcoin could not break it. It just seemed like 20K is impossible and Bitcoin can never go any higher. Some of you guys remember that, especially if you lived through crypto winter and you went through the second one where Bitcoin went up to 14,000 and crashed down, right? For some of us, man, we're like, oh, it's not going to come, right? But for some of us, we held strong. And guess what? We were rewarded. Bitcoin went from 20,000 to 40 plus thousand, basically doubled within a single month. Okay, so 100% gain. After we hit it, we kind of stalled a little bit. Bitcoin didn't need to take a breather. I mean, honestly, going up double within a single month, it's just a lot, right? It needed to take a breather. So that's exactly what it did. It fell down from 40,000 all the way down to about 30,000, a pretty significant drop. And then Bitcoin came right back up to $40,000, right? And it seemed like we were going to be on our way again. But you know what? You know who joined the party and who made Bitcoin do this pretty much? Yeah, that's our good old friends at F2 Pool. When did this all start? This all started after Bitcoin hit 40,000. Beforehand, nothing. You could see there's normal outflows just like any other pool, as it should be. Pools, collectively, they sell off maybe a few hundred Bitcoins. People are taking profits. The pool themselves is paying for operations. But it makes no sense that all of a sudden, this one pool will start, outflowing tens of thousands of Bitcoins at once. Tens of thousands for no apparent reason, right? So you zoom in here. It really started escalating right around the 14th, 15th, and then 17th, and then it started going onwards, right? So you look at it, what happened here? You go back, what happened during that time? Well, you could see Bitcoin, right? Started coming back up. This is at 40,000, right? Bitcoin seemed like it was just going to continue to 50,000. Then boom. And then we went boom. Why? Well, because the selling pressure started from F2 Pool. F2 Pool started selling daily 10,000, 11,000 Bitcoins per day. And of course, with this kind of constant selling, this caused Bitcoin to come down in a big way. So it's not a coincidence. It was not a coincidence at all that Bitcoin came back down. And you know what? This point right here, guess what time frame that was? That was the last week of January. That was futures expiration, right? Just like right now. So it's not a coincidence that happened at all, because whoever did it drove the price down, drove it down as far as they could, which is 30,000 at a time, right? Probably profited handsomely off the shorts, Okay, they were able to buy back Bitcoin cheaper at this point. And then, you know what? They probably initiated a long contract and said Bitcoin is going to go double from here and possibly go to 60,000. You know what? And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. After futures expiration, Bitcoin went basically from $30,000 and doubled again to, we went as high as 58,000, so almost 60,000. That's almost exactly what happened again. So we went from 20,000 to 40,000 within a single month, took a breather, was going to come right back up, but then F2 Pool decided to join in a party and kept it lower. Then we doubled again, and this drop right here looks almost identical to this drop. Now, when this happened, the top was about $40,000. You know, the midpoint was about 35, and the low point was 30. And then we were bouncing around here for a little bit on the upper range, and then we bounced around the lower range for a little bit, but 30,000 held. There was just the point where F2 Pool didn't matter how much they were selling, that it just wouldn't go any lower. And then eventually we came back up, right? So that's why I drew this in red, because right now it looks like the temporary bottom, and it could be the solid bottom where Bitcoin just can't go low any lower. That right now seems to be at 45,000, and we're bouncing off of there, and it looks very similar to this, right? Where you can even look at the indicators on the 4-hour, you know, RSI bottomed here around 30, and stochastic RSI bottomed here at 0, and you can see we went on a ferocious run here and went all the way up to $40,000. So if history repeats, or at least rhymes, we are at that same point. The 4-hour bottom to 0 to 30 already, and stochastic is at 0 already, right? And we just bounced off of this 45 couple times. Despite the fact that we had BitMEX with their leverage, they tried to bring Bitcoin lower and failed. It seems like this could be that bottom, which means if we're mimicking what happened before, we could have a pretty quick V-shaped recovery just like that. We could go all the way up back to 55, 56,000 relatively quickly if we're mirroring the previous pattern. And I apologize, my camera is kind of blocking it. But we could mimic something like this, right? A V-shaped recovery. We could see that pretty quickly. Unless to pull the whales, they don't want that to happen, right? So it could be that we just stay within the range, and it could be this 50,000 to 45,000 range. We could just bounce up and down, up and down, up and down. It's early, but it seems like that's what it's doing. It could be doing that for just kind of like this until futures expiration is over. You look at this timeline, it's exactly the last week of January. This is not a coincidence. Without data, it seems like it is, right? Without data, you just kind of, sometimes you think, what is Bitcoin doing? But with data, you kind of realize nothing is by accident anymore. It's done purposefully. So it seems like this is what we're going through now, and we could be bouncing 45, 50, 45, 50 until it's over and go up. Or we can do something that's more like a V-shaped recovery where it's like that, right? So we only have 3 days to go. Well, counting today, maybe 4 days, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now, what's good is Bitcoin held at that 45,000 a couple times, despite the fact that there was massive selling at that point. That's good. Also, a lot of altcoins are starting to come up slowly, which is also good because I think a lot of you guys are taking advantage of the dip. That's what you're supposed to do. When there is a dip, you dollar cost average, you buy low and sell high, and not the reverse, right? So yesterday, I said myself, I bought the dip a little bit. On Sunday, I took out quite a bit. I kind of knew this was going to happen, right? So yesterday, I took a little bit amount of that and dollar cost average. Today, I'm going to do that some more, right? So that's how you find true bottom. And if we happen to go to below 45,000, even possibly go to 40,000, I'll dollar cost average some more. See, that's the point of having cash on hand sometimes is so that you can take advantage of these buying opportunities. But like I said, some of these altcoins have started coming up. In particular, there's some blockchains like Cosmos is up in a big way. Solana is up in a big way. Some of these are actually holding really well. And even I mentioned about Cardano yesterday. Cardano was still above $1.10 yesterday. And right now, despite the fact they fall a little bit, it's still around the dollar. So a lot of these are still holding very, very well. And the main thing is that BTC dominance isn't really going up. So a lot of you guys that are, a bit more diversified, right? Maybe your dollar value goes up, which no one cares at this point. What we care about your SAT value, your BTC value. As long as that doesn't go down, then you're doing it right. If your SAT value stays the same, that means the amount that you have in terms of BTC, that didn't change, and that's what you want. Dollar value, we know that it matters. I know it's it seems silly to say that, but we know that Bitcoin is going a lot higher. Dollar value is inflating right in front of our eyes. The buying power decreases year over year. So what we want to concentrate on is sats. A lot of sats, as much of it as possible, right? All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to get through. Almost 6,000 people watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. But you know what? Going forward, I think we have a lot of data, a lot of warning signs. We know when F2 pool is about to dump, right? That obviously worked out this past Sunday, right? Now we know where they plan on dumping, right? Especially where they plan on initiating those flash crashes. BitMEX for Bitcoin, and right now they're choosing BitFinex for Ethereum. So yeah, so I'm gonna track all these. I wonder if like whale alerts or any other company out there could actually pinpoint it more precisely in terms of the address, the specific address. Because Quant, I'm sure they have it, but they don't publish it. But maybe we could get even more precise data if we can get whale alerts involved. And maybe we should bring this attention to BitMEX and BitFinex. We've been going after F2 pool on their Twitter. Maybe we should let BitMEX and BitFinex know that they are actually the cause of this. Maybe not directly. Maybe they're not the whales that are doing this, but who knows? Because BitMEX was started by Arthur Hayes and his buddies, and they were doing some shady things. But at least let them know that this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing to the industry. They're allowing the whales to manipulate the market when they shouldn't be able to do so. They have a lot of money, yes, but they don't have so much money that they should be able to do so. They can only do so because they have that leverage. They're utilizing that insane leverage, which shouldn't even exist in the first place, right? But yeah, those of you guys that want to spread awareness, please do so. All right. So with that said, let me turn to you guys for some Q&A. I'm glad. I'm looking through the chart. I'm glad a lot of you guys appreciate it. There's a lot of newcomers on my channel now. Appreciate that you guys are liking this content. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I picked this up. I'm glad that I was able to discover all this, because prior we kind of had the data in front of us. Just no one connected the pieces. But now with more of it, we're able to track things better, right? Is this a new bottom that we're all seeing for BTC? What do you think, Sarah and I just kind of got done saying that. This looks very similar to what happened just a month ago. So yeah, we could see that 45 is that new bottom right now, right? Now, if there is more selling pressure from F2 pool, from all these other guys, we can see 45 break and go even lower. I would say the next support would obviously be 40,000, right? So last time it was 40,000 down to about 30,000 before coming up. So this time around, we're a little bit higher though. We're not starting at 50,000. We're starting at almost 60,000, right? So if you're looking at that dropping to 45, that seems like appropriate drop. But now if they push it further, maybe 40,000. But right now, seems like it's holding pretty good. Steven gives a super chat. Appreciate it. Bad asks, what is going on with ETH? Should I sell now? No, I think you just missed the whole thing, man. I just got done saying, um, this whole drop right now is not just a BTC sell-off. It's a ETH sell-off too. So the whales not only sold off BTC, but they sold ETH and they caused flash crashes, utilizing leverage. As simple as that. So that is why they're actually moving in tandem. I mean, ETH dropped the same amount, a little bit less than BTC. So actually, you should not be worried at all. Now, if ETH dropped double amount, yeah, that sucks. But right now, they're moving in tandem. Man on a mission, appreciate that. Missing a lot of these here. What is your opinion on AMP currently and its future? I created a video about AMP. I think they're a very fascinating product. You know, very entwined with Flexa, and I think they're gonna do well. You know, we know that this year, right, it's still kind of iffy, but people are getting their shots. Retailers were open. People can't wait to get outside their homes. Stimulus check is coming. There's a lot of external factors that should really help a lot of these projects and crypto overall, but I think Flexa will benefit from that. So it should help AMP. Appreciate that super chat. Altcoin Andy, hey, I have been in a while and still up, George. Is now still a good time to take profits, or we should bounce back and lose? Yeah, you should just hodl. Right now is not time to be fearful. Okay, let's put things into perspective. Bitcoin is at 47,000. Even if it drops to 45, even if it drops to 40, to put things in perspective, we were at this point only a month ago, and we're much higher than that. And to put things in perspective, 2 months ago, Bitcoin was still below 20,000, right? So this is definitely not time to be panicking. In my opinion, this is a coordinated effort right now from Wall Street to really drive things down. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news lately. A lot of FUD coming out about Tesla buying Bitcoin. And a lot of companies like MicroStrategy, Riot, Mara, Blockchain, they're getting hammered with their stocks, despite the fact that Bitcoin continues to go up. This, to me, is a coordinated effort from Wall Street right now to spread as much FUD as possible about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is really changing everything. Wall Street, banks, they used to control all the money. Now, money is flowing into the hands of the people, right? Through Bitcoin, and they want to stop it as much as possible. And of course, there is manipulation going on even inside, because there are certain actors that think they could get away with it. But now we're starting to discover it. We're bringing it to light, right? So that's how we join together and do a WSB moment ourselves, right? WSB, Julie, appreciate that. Big super chat. I mean, WSB is basically a bunch of guys on Reddit that caused a movement. And us crypto guys, I like to think we're even stronger than that. We've been through 90% drops, many of them before, and we held strong, and now Bitcoin is where it is, and so is the entire market, right? So, bottom line is, hodl. Someone told me 10-minute crypto, someone told me about Hashgraph. I don't like it. It's too corporate for me. It's too corporate. It's not an open source software. It's owned by a corporation. They do have a lot of companies signed up, but I don't know. I don't like it that much. Thoughts on Wabi and Nulls? I tried to reach out to Wabi. I have no idea what they're doing. They seem like they're still executing, but the pandemic really hurt them, especially in Asia. Nulls is still executing very, very, very well. Recently, they passed 70 cents. I haven't checked them. They probably went down because of what happened, but if they could break $1, that would be very positive for them. Oceanic. George, I don't understand. If a person has an average cost of Bitcoin of 20,000, how is it advantage to take profits at 50 and then buy back at 45? Because you're buying, once you buy back, you have more Bitcoins than you started with. That's the reason why. If you sell, it doesn't matter where your cost average is. If you sell at 50, let's say you sold 10 Bitcoins at $50,000. When you buy back at 45,000, you'll have like 12 Bitcoins. So you're gaining. Anthony asked, do you expect the alt season to begin next week or months? I think it's already started. It's not full blown altcoin season, but it definitely started, which is why altcoins are very, very strong if you haven't paid attention, especially the big caps and mid caps. Small caps, not so much, but altcoins have definitely started. We're maybe a quarter into altcoin season right now. I would say a quarter, half, but definitely not peak, nowhere near that. Insure asks, what do you think about insurance industry in crypto? I don't like it. You know, first of all, I don't think any of them has enough money to cover any massive hack. You know, a lot of these hacks are millions and millions. I don't even know if they can cover it. You know, so I don't like it. I don't think it's necessary. Man, there's a lot of super chats I can't even fulfill here. Stephen Andre says, hey, George, good call, spot on. So with CRO burning, their market cap reaching $4 billion and circulating supply at $24 billion, can you see it being a $10 coin soon? I don't know. You know, me personally, I never used their services, so I don't know how big they are in terms of exchange. Going more than 10x within this bull market? Sure. Is it going to happen soon? I don't know. Probably not. Unless they're the size of, say, Binance. I just don't know. I don't know enough data. But I know they are pretty big. A lot of people utilize them. There's a ton of commercials, a ton of cards, but I don't know how many people are actually utilizing that exchange. But the token burning does definitely help tremendously, which is why they jumped up quite a bit recently. Sage and Fool says, I might have taken the video yesterday where he questioned Tether's bank account inflow 2020. Okay. Yeah. It could be because it went up so much because there's just an influx of clients that's coming in. I mean, here's my position on this. 35 billion for Tether is a lot, but it's not enough, or it's not a factor anymore when the market cap is at 1.5 trillion. I just don't see it. And they are being heavily looked at by the New York Attorney General and other parties that think that there's shenanigans going on. So I honestly don't think that they're pulling anything right now. Sneak Party, appreciate that super chat. Gregors, thank you. And Simon, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think I finally got through all of it. So appreciate the super chat, guys. Don Page says George hates Litecoin for some reason. I don't hate it. Sometimes I do rant about Litecoin, but it's more neutral for me. Let's just say it's neutral for me, because it's just no point. There's no point to buying Litecoin, in my opinion. You just buy Bitcoin. Litecoin is a store of value. It is the second biggest store of value. But why not buy the biggest than the one that's moving much more, much higher, right? So that's why I don't like Litecoin. Irving asks, do you think there's a relation with NUPL or NUPL? I don't know if that's how you say it, and NUPL, and what happened besides F2Pool? Well, I think you missed the whole stream, so you have to rewind and watch it. I never used the metric NUPL. I have to look at it. Some people have mentioned to me, but I haven't looked at it yet, so. Thoughts on Robinhood being a 26% Doge? No, I don't think so. I don't think it is. I don't know why Elon accused him of that. He just did it without any proof. I doubt Robinhood, which is a publicly traded company, and there's a lot of auditing going on. They have to abide by a lot of rules. I doubt that they just purchased $2 billion worth of Dogecoin without anyone noticing. That's a lot of money. The founders don't have that. They would have to use Robinhood money to do so. And I doubt the shareholders, I doubt the board, I doubt anyone would approve that. So I don't know why Elon suggested that. Do you know when crypto will go up again? My thinking is, looking at our pattern now, looking at what happened before, my thinking is after Friday, this coming weekend, things are good. Things are going to be good. Obviously, we have a little bit more attention now than before. We kind of know what's going on. If you didn't watch the beginning of the stream, watch it. We now know where these flash crashes originated from very high leverage exchanges. So we know that is being done, right? So we're getting more data as time goes on. But this is why I said on Sunday when I discovered a large outflow from F2 pool, I'm like, I don't think it's a coincidence that's being done a week before expiration. I think it's done on purpose, right? So I think we have to wait it out. But I do think between now and then, right, we could see Bitcoin possibly, do something like this between 45 and 50, something like that, up and down, until it's ready for the next leg up. So remember, from December to January, Bitcoin went up a full 100%. And from January to February, Bitcoin went up a full 100%, right? So that would mean if we just say bounce from 45,000 after Friday and we start this kind of journey, that means by, late March, Bitcoin should be at $95,000. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Can you cover politics? Cora asked, can I cover politics? I tend not to. Because people get too heated with political issues. So, no. Brad asked, staking ADA is so boring. I'll be spending 10,000 ADA on Cardano NTFs in March. Yeah. Some staking is good. Some staking is boring. But the ones that are generally good are more risky. Like, if you provide for a liquidity pool on one of these AMMs, you're getting interest that's like crazy, like 65%, 100%, thousands of percent sometimes. They're crazy. I don't advise it, but yeah, you can make crazy money from staking. But, if you do NTFs, NFTs, I don't know why I keep saying NTF, NFTs and other things, and invest dollar cost average, they can turn out even better. Ask George, when you buy the dip, do you glue to the screen all day and night? I pretty much do that already. I try not to. I have to go on with my life, but I pretty much check all day and night. But recently, I've been doing a little bit less because I just feel very comfortable about Bitcoin. I have no doubt in my mind Bitcoin's going to be at 100,000 in the near future. And after that, 200,000, 300,000, 4,000. Right? So what's going on right now really doesn't mean much. Now, I understand a lot of people want to time top and bottom. Sometimes I do too. I try to look for some of these indicators to bottom out and stuff. 50-50, I'm right or wrong, right? But ultimately, we know if Bitcoin's going higher, everything else is going to be carried with it and go with it, right? So the risk in my mind is very low, very low. Despite the fact we may sit through maybe a week or so, a few weeks or so of maybe downturn or sideways movement, but then again, we're rewarded handsomely right afterwards, right? So yes and no. Aaron, appreciate that. Man, 6,000 people watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and somehow I just turn off my super chat and I can't see you guys anymore. I gotta refresh my screen. I can't. I turn off super chat for some reason. I mean live chat for some reason. All right, here's back. Make sure, guys, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and of course, I did mention about the source, the gotcha. So make sure you scroll to the beginning of the video because I said a lot. I correlated a lot. I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate all the support, guys. All right, I'll end it with that. I'll let you guys go. Bitcoin's a little bit lower today, but you know what? Things are looking better today than even yesterday. So yesterday, dollar cost average a little bit for myself. Today, I'm going to dollar cost average a little more and see what happens. Overall, that's what you want to do. You buy low, you sell high, and you hodl. And what we're seeing right now, yes, there's manipulation, but we're getting closer and closer and closer to pinpointing where this is all, where it's all happening, who it's from, right? And today I uncovered the flash crash for Ethereum and Bitcoin, where they originated from. So again, my theory about utilizing leverage, making gains with futures, that's all coming, right? We're unraveling it together. So Nero, thank you for that super chat. So smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for my video tonight around 8:30 p.m. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And I'll see you guys tonight. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.